today and it will be materialized tomorrow. Are you dreaming of flying abroad for your higher education? Don't worry. Home International Education Kumari Party is always there to turn your dream into reality. We provide the best services to you on arts preparation, abroad study counseling to Australia, the UK, the USA, Canada, and many more. For more information, please contact us.
Namaskar. The present education system has created thousands of people able to read and write but unable to understand the worth of education. That's what many critics say. Talking about education, especially talking about English education, today in our studio we have Laxmi Prasad Khanal. He is Masters in English. He is an MA in English. He is an MA in Political Science. He has authored many books. One of them is Communication English, which has been very much popular. Apart from that, he is a motivational speaker. Today, we will be talking about the status of education in Nepal, especially English education, and we'll also be talking about various challenges that the private school teachers are facing. Welcome to our program, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. What about you?
I'm great. So, it's been pretty long that I've been expecting you, and fortunate I am to get you here today.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm also so fortunate to be with you today.
So, apart from teaching, I think you are involved in different types of researches and all. So, how should our audience understand you as? Could you tell me something about yourself, right from your education at school until now?
Okay, thank you very much. So, you have said a lot of things about my education and qualification. So, to add further, I did my schooling from Dhan.
Mhm.
I'm from a government school. So I did my +2 and bachelor's degree from Gaiga to Jaipur. I shifted there from Dhan, Nepal.
Mhm.
And just to do my master's, I came to Kathmandu and I have earned master's degree in English education from Central Department of English
Mhm.
and also MA in political science from TU itself. And also I have earned LLB from Nepal campus. And so I'm also involved in different colleges, teaching the students as an English faculty, etc. And also, like you said, I'm quite passionate about research. My research article has also been published recently, and also I have presented different research papers at both national and international conferences, etc. So I'm all that.
Thank you so much. So, what drove you to this teaching profession?
Yes.
What motivated you to teaching profession? Have you ever thought that you would get into teaching?
Yes, the question is quite interesting as well. And yeah, so I was actually passionate about teaching. So my dad, by profession, is an English teacher. Right now, he is a retired English teacher. So I was actually influenced by my teacher, sorry, by my dad. And also, right from my schooling, I was actually interested in becoming a teacher. So accordingly, I joined the same faculty, that is, English education. And so now teaching has become my not just my profession, but it has become my passion. So I have actually blended these two things together, like my passion with profession. So I'm quite happy what I'm doing right now, and I'm quite pleased to be where I'm right now and what I'm doing right now.
That's great. But when you take the overall picture, majority of teachers having taught for last 20 years or 30 years, have been found to be saying, oh, I took a wrong decision. I should have done better had I adopted some other profession. Have you ever had a kind of dissatisfaction in this field? I mean, in this profession? Or demotivated?
So, to be honest, yeah, I also sometimes hear the same thing that you said, like you said. So personally speaking, teaching should be the holiest profession in the world, and teachers are those agents who can change the society, who are the change agents as well, we call. But in the context of Nepal, the situation has now changed. The mentality of the people the mentality of people has become such that they just view.
Okay.
So the mentality of the people at present has become such that the teachers, those who are teaching at especially private schools, are not considered to be that much productive and that much competent. But I would say that that is a myth. And in the context of Nepal, if the teachers are paid high than any other professionals, and if the teachers also become, as much responsible as they are supposed to be, definitely they will be changing lots of things, not only in community schools, or let's say not only in private schools. There will be a paradigm shift in the overall education system of Nepal.
That's a hypothesis there would be, but talking about the present condition, are the teachers satisfied, especially private school teachers? Or are they behaved well? Are they paid well? Are they getting a good image in the society as they should? That's what matters.
Yeah, the question is something that is to be asked as well. So I find this question quite relevant. So to be honest, so there are few teachers. So teachers in the context of Nepal, those who are teaching at private institutions, let's say, are also behaved differently. And yeah, like you said, there could be sort of discrimination to the teachers as well. So if you just talk about the status of the teachers, especially during COVID-19 pandemic, so they had to be, yeah, they had to be unpaid for almost 2 years, and that actually demotivated the teachers to the fullest. And most of the teachers, those who are shifting from private to community schools at present, are just doing so just because of that very factor. So definitely there might be discrimination. There might be discrimination. I would say that.
So, if I start writing the subject matter, it would take pretty long time because I myself have been victimized in many places. And at one time, I decided not to teach at any college at all, but I couldn't, just do that. As you have said, teaching is your profession and so is mine. Well, it's better to forget the bitter days of COVID-19, right?
Yeah.
As an English teacher, what do you think the status of English of college students, especially bachelor's level students or even elementary students, I mean to say intermediate level students? What do you think the status of English is that satisfactory? Is that satisfactory?
Yeah. So as I have experienced, and also as I have noticed my students, so I could see a very pathetic situation, especially regarding the quality of the students in Nepal. So students are not found to be that much competent, especially in English, in all the skills of English. Maybe because they could not get quality education right from the kindergarten to the, let's say, master's degree or university level, or there might be some problem with the education system or etc. So I could see the poor performance of the students as well. Even if they are doing bachelor's degree or plus two, or let's say doing any other degrees. So I could see something wrong with the education system in Nepal. I just don't want to blame not only for the students, but I just blame the education system of Nepal.
Yeah, very diplomatic answer. I would rather say, my point is, do you think students are as proficient as they should be so far as English is concerned in intermediate level and bachelor's level? What is the condition?
Yeah.
Is
So
it satisfactory?
no, to be honest, it is not that satisfactory. So they, for example, if they are doing, for example, bachelor's degree, they are not found to be as much competent as they should be as a student of bachelor's degree. So, and also, I also teach to the students of plus two, etc., to the students of bachelor's degree, etc. I just don't find such competent students in English. So, I'm also, for example, doing research regarding why this is actually happening. Like whether we have problem or they do have problems or where is the problem. So there is one research that is carried out just to find out the problems of this issue, like to find the solution to this problem. So that is called action research. So I'm also carrying out action research regarding how to solve such problems, like how to diagnose the students and how to actually enhance the English proficiency level of the students. So it is actually the matter of research.
That's fine. Researches have to be carried out on it. That's really very good. Let me talk about researchers themselves, right? What is the condition of research in university levels? I'm asking this question because many of previous guests have pointed it out that they don't have a congenial atmosphere for research. I mean, financially as well as intellectually. So, how difficult it is to carry out research, or how congenial is the university in order that the scholars carry out researches?
Yeah. So thank you very much for this wonderful question. So talking about the quality of research that is actually carried out at university level. So in Nepal, I just don't see the quality researches that have been carried out in Nepal. So, as you know that research has to be an impactful. But if you just talk about the theses that are carried out at university, so once you are graduated, so your thesis is actually sold for maybe around 12 rupees. There was the news that had come out. So this means that there is no inequality in the research. So the research that we carry out should actually make an impact in the society, but we just don't find this. And also there could be like supervisory feedback we call. So supervisory feedback is not that effective as well. I don't know whether there is the problem with the supervisors itself or there is the problem with the students. So there is the mismatch in between these things, like between the teachers and the thesis students. So especially talking about the quality of research of Tribhuvan University. So there are many students who have carried out research so far, but I don't think that their research has been impactful.
So what do you think should be done to make impactful researches?
Yes, there are lots of things that can be done to bring about a paradigm shift, especially in the field of research. Like, first of all, the students must be made crystal clear regarding what research is. Because, most of the students get lost when they start their, for example, right from the selection of topic to the completion of their thesis.
So, is it because they are doing research only in master's level? They might have done many researches in the graduation level or so.
Recently it has been added even in bachelor's degree, but the priority is not given in bachelor's degree. So, especially only going to the master's degree, especially at the final semester, that is fourth semester, the students are supposed to have done research. Unless they carry out research, they just don't earn any degree. And therefore, they must complete the wishes. They just carry out the wishes.
And there's another blame, not only for wishes, but for the entire education system to come to a proper track or to be meaningful, there should be political intervention. There are so many political parties with their sister organizations, so to say.
Yeah.
What do you think is the role of such political parties, and should be the role of such political parties for the improvement of education? I mean to say sister organizations.
Yeah, the question is quite interesting. So there has been a great trouble with education system just because of politics in Nepal. So politics in Nepal has become an obstacle just because of the political intervention, especially at the PS temple of education, that is university or colleges, etc. Students have been victimized. Not only students, even the teachers or professors have been victimized just in name of politics. So yeah, politics should be there. Excuse me. Politics should be there, but does not mean that we have to play with the students. We have to play with the quality of students. That's not be done. So when the politics is actually banned, especially in university or schools, etc., definitely there could be sort of change. Unless it is banned, I doubt there won't be sort of change because you are protected by political parties.
And you work for the vested interest of such political parties rather than working for the interest of students.
Yeah.
Well, there has to be students' union and that has to function for the total welfare of the student, academic enhancement and development of the student. But here, going to university is taken by many students a beginning step to reach the major political party or to get the major political post.
Yes.
So that has to be ended, you mean to say?
Yeah, what I would say is that, politics is required, but politics, let's say, school or university is not the place just to exercise your politics. You just go to the society, bring some changes through politics, and do the politics in such a way that your politics has to, bring some changes. But just because of your politics that you are doing at university or colleges, etc., there should not be for example, obstacle. Students must not be victimized. And you cannot actually play with the students, with the concerned people.
Okay, that's really very good. Now, moving on to the next question. How do you think English should be taught? I mean to say in the intermediate level and advanced level. So far as language is concerned.
Yeah, so what I believe is that, talking about the way how English is taught in Nepal, that is, English in Nepal is taught through, Nepali. English is taught through Nepali. And there is one issue that is teaching as let's say, English as an English medium instruction. So it has become the matter of debate and discussion in Nepal, and many educators and concerned people working in the field of education have been talking about this, whether students should be taught through English while teaching English, or there should be the mixture of other languages as well. But talking about proficiency level, like to enhance the proficiency level of the students, that is English proficiency of the students. So what I would say is that the students must be taught through English because it is actually language. We are not actually teaching content. So there is, content-based teaching approach as well, right? So if we are teaching content along with English, we can use other languages as well. But if you are teaching the students, let's say, to enhance their English proficiency, for example, there are different proficiency tests like IELTS, TOEFL, PT, Duolingo, etc. So regarding the enhancement of such, tests of the students, they are to be taught through English because it is actually the gateway to the world. So if you are teaching content to the students, yeah, you can use any medium. That's fine.
Teaching language cannot be entirely different from teaching content, because even while teaching language, I mean to say language functions, there must be certain content. The content could be from political science, the content could be from sociology, the contents could be from biology or whatever, you know. But what I've realized these days is the focus of teaching, I mean English teaching, has been just structures or functions, you know.
Yeah.
Because of it, students don't feel interested in the class. So how do you think an English teacher can create an interesting atmosphere in the class?
Yeah, so this is actually a very beautiful question. So what I would say is that teaching is considered to be both art and science.
Mm.
So teaching is an art and also science. For example, no matter how much you know, if you just don't know how to present that in front of the students, and if you just find your students getting bored by your boring lectures, so that does not mean that you are actually teaching the students. Why? Because the students are not actually listening to you. They are not in a mood to listen to you. And therefore, to make the teaching interesting, you have to present your ideas in an artistic fashion.
Ah, beautiful.
Yeah, and also it is also considered to be science. Teaching is also, let's say, science. Why? Because you cannot actually say whatever that comes to your mind. So you have to actually be well prepared before you actually present yourself in the classroom, and also you have to say the things that have already been researched, that have been experimented, that have been proven, etc. And also you have to be based on experimental things, or let's say research. And therefore, in this sense, I would say that teaching is both art and science. So there is a vast
I mean to say,
distinction.
are there specific techniques or approaches that are better than others?
Yeah. So what I would say is that there is no any single best method that actually fits into the classroom context. So there is one methodology that has been introduced by one scholar, that is post-method pedagogy, that says that all the methods are dead. You just don't have any particular best method that actually
That must
gets
have
fitted
been the
into
impact of postmodernism, or what do you say, deconstruction in literature.
Yes. And also this method basically says that, you just introduce, you are the method in yourself. Teacher itself is a method creator. You
A
are
resourceful person.
you are just a facilitator. You are actually not only the teacher there, you do have multiple functions to play at the time of teaching. You are the friend of the teacher, you are the facilitator of the teacher, you are the guide of the teacher.
Guide
You
a
are
student. You are a friend of a student.
Yes.
You are a guide of a student.
Yes.
You are a counselor of the students.
Of
You are a
course.
motivator of the student, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
We have learned all these theoretical aspects, but how far have these aspects or theoretical aspects been implied in education? Had they been implied, of course, we wouldn't have been discussing on the level of students here.
Yeah.
Or, so to say, the pathetic condition of education in many places of our country.
Yeah.
I must say sorry, but I must use the term,
Yeah.
because the students are not up to the level, and we ourselves are responsible. Okay, I'm sorry for interrupting. The point is, there is no best method.
Of
That's
course.
what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Let's carry on.
And also, post-method pedagogy I was talking about.
Mhm.
So it basically deals with principle of particularity, principle of possibility, and principle of criticality.
Principle of particularity,
Yeah.
principles of
Possibility
possibility, and
criticality.
criticality. Okay, could you just elaborate a little bit?
Yeah. For example, talking about the principle of particularity. For example, you have to actually understand the particular context of the classroom. You have to understand the students, what they're actually wanting you to teach, and what they are actually demanding, whether they are psychologically prepared, whether you could see the high level of motivation on the part of the students. So you have to be specific and possibility as well. So considering the principle possibility as well, you have to nurture and teach the students. For example, you just don't find the students only having the single intelligence. We often talk about multiple intelligences. So now people are also talking about emotional intelligences, but now people are also talking about artificial intelligence. So understanding
we'll be talking about
understanding the multiple let's say intelligences of the students, you have to be teaching. So that is what you call principle of possibility. You have to explore the students, and you just have to bring out the best of the students.
We have to ignite the innate potentials of the students. That's what you mean.
Yeah, and also criticality. There could be critical incidents in the classroom. For example, you should not be biased when you are teaching. You have to treat all the students equally, without
they are to be treated alike.
Yeah, they should not feel that they are being discriminated. They should not feel that they are actually being ignored, etc. So if you just do so, there might be some critical issues that will be arousing. So to arouse the interest of the students, especially in teaching and learning, you have to be highly critical as well. So just to be away from such critical issues, critical incidents as well, you have to be dealing with the students.
So let me get into creativity. Generally, it has been seen, or generally it has been practiced that we teach what is there in the textbook or what is there in the syllabus. How far are textbooks or syllabus, fruitful to make students more creative? Or my point is, can we expect creativity, or can we deal with creativity according to the textbook? Or should there be anything else?
So creativity is far from textbook. So it does not have any particular limit line. So, curriculum. So first of all, if you just talk about how curriculum and textbook are designed, first of all, curriculum is prepared, right? It is developed. On the basis of curriculum, there might be like syllabus that is
on the basis
designed.
Of syllabus, there are textbooks.
Textbooks are designed, and there are other resources that are also prepared. So I would say that the teachers are those people who are actually there just to enhance the critical thinking of the students, critical reasoning of the students. So only textbook does not make the students creative. So the teachers must be highly sensitive and responsible in enhancing their creativity as well.
That's great. We just trust technology as well.
Yeah.
How far do you think technology is important in order to teach language? I mean, English language in this context.
Definitely, technology has become a dominant tool to learn and teach English. It has been quite easier compared to the past, especially to teach English language. If you just talk about the situation of English language teaching in the past, it was not that effective, because the teachers had to go back their home, to their home and just to turn the pages of the dictionary, etc., and would have to look for the meanings of the words. But now, on the spot, they can actually
you've got a handy dictionary in your cell phone.
Yeah, cell phone, etc. And also, for example, if you just want to watch any tutorials, you could go to the YouTube channels or different means of social media, etc. You could get some ideas. But the thing is that yes, it is actually a blessing. I would say that. So ICT has become a blessing for the students and also the teacher. But how you actually handle these determines whether you are learning the things or whether you are misusing the things. If the students and the teachers misuse the technology, it is going to be a a course as well.
My point is, many teachers, so to say, have a problem with technology. They would rather say creativity of students has degraded because of too much dependence on technology. What would you say on that?
Yeah, so what I would say is that yes, that might be true at some point, but depending upon the users. So how you actually handle such technology defines whether you are doing great or not. So it's all up to the users. So if you just use it wisely, and you will get benefited. If you just don't try to use it wisely.
I mean, students just copy and paste the resources,
So yeah,
and assignments
it has
have become
yeah.
easy. They don't have to think. They don't go to the
Yeah.
field as required.
Yes.
So, how do you think we should control such practices?
So there has been law that has also been imposed just to control the plagiarism in Nepal, especially if it is like publication or any research that is a research article or any book that is going to be published. So there is the law against that. But talking about the students, so it is up to the administration or there's a college, school itself or teachers, how they actually take it. So
How they
and
motivate
also,
their students.
yeah, and also what things should be taken into account is that, what type of question you actually assign the students. You just assign such questions which are not actually found on the internet. You should not give such questions. Just give such question which actually makes them creative and which actually compels them to create something and just to write rather than going to the internet or search engine and just copy and paste the things going there. So depending upon the difficulty level of the questions or nature of questions, now students could actually find the resources. So yeah, definitely they can search, fine, but they should get such questions which are rarely found on the internet. That's what I would say. So for that, the teachers have to
Be
actually
creative themselves. The teachers themselves should be
Yeah.
creative, resourceful, and critical
yeah.
in the formulation of questions. That's
Yes.
really good idea. Let me get into human resource. Once there was a time when many people were attracted to English department, but the number of students in English department has decreased.
Yeah.
How do you take it out? What factors are contributing to this change?
Yes.
And what could be the reason, so to say?
What I say is that yes, it's true that the number of students is decreasing, especially even at the Central Department of English, etc. It's just because most of the youths have started brain draining. They just don't want to stay in Nepal. And also what they keep in mind is that even if they have completed master's degree with good grades, etc., they get unemployed. They just don't get any job. They just don't find any job in the market.
They do have a hand-to-mouth problem.
And also, they are not actually, to be honest, they are not actually happy with the present political situation of Nepal. Wherever they go, they just have to be the cattle of someone, like some parties, etc. If they just don't belong to any political ideology or etc., and if they are not actually in contact or touch with any political leaders,
or affiliated to any political
if they are not
parties.
actually affiliated to any political parties, it is very hard for them to get job anywhere else. And also talking about some competitive examinations in Nepal, there are certain quotas and they have to fight. So that might be one factor, and the other factors could be like because of the financial issue, could be etc. as well. And also there is the question mark to the quality of education that is actually provided at Central Department. So there is the question as well. So whether the students are happy with the teachers, the professors, the quality that they receive there or not. So
Or whether they would have a proper employment, that's what is the basic.
Yeah, and also to be honest, the quality of education at Tribhuvan University has been degraded. It has been, let's say, pathetic today, just because of the too much political intervention. The teachers, those who are teaching there, the professors, those who are teaching there, it looks as if they are the political cadres or etc. Not just as teachers they are teaching there, just as the political cadres or activists they are teaching there, which has actually created sort of frustration on the part of the students as well. And also, let's say, as a whole, there is sort of frustration on the part of the youths, those who are doing masters or bachelors, etc. And also, instead of staying here in Nepal, they think of making passport and take proficiency test. For example, if they just want to go to the countries like USA or Canada, etc., they just think of doing that and go. And also, those who cannot do anything else, those who are not competent in proficiency test or aptitude test, etc., they think of going to the countries like Malaysia or etc. So I could see two problems here in Nepal. One could be like brain drain. Like the one who has got brilliant mind, those who are genius, are found to be going to the countries like USA, Canada, or Australia, etc. And those who are not qualified enough, competent enough, etc., are found to be going to the countries like Malaysia, etc. It is what we call muscle training. So muscles are in such countries like Malaysia, etc.
Arabian countries and
Yes,
all.
great minds are there in the countries like Australia or USA. So whoever are left here in Nepal are not that much competent. So
Okay.
how do you expect changes in Nepal? Yeah.
That's a beautiful interpretation. So we are towards the end of the program. Do you have something that you wanted me to ask you?
So I think you
something
have,
in your mind,
Yeah.
if it is so, please.
so I think you have asked me lots of things. So yeah, that's all. You asked me almost all the things.
Right
Political
from
issues and
academic to
wishes,
political
yeah,
aspects
academics
and
to
all.
politics. So it is actually interesting talking to you.
Thank you so much for coming to our program and talking to us in a beautiful way.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me here. So I'm very happy to be talking to you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. In the days to come also, I would come with different experts and raise different issues. Keep on watching Aakash Television.
Dream today, and it will be materialized tomorrow. Are you dreaming of flying abroad for your higher education? Don't worry. Home International Education Kumari Party is always there to turn your dream into reality. We provide the best services to you on arts preparation, abroad study counseling to Australia, the UK, the USA, Canada, and many more. For more information, please contact us.